There are lots of assumptions we make about men, like they can't produce milk and they don't get period pains, but the truth is shocking. Prepare to be amazed by these little-known facts and hit the red button down below to subscribe to our channel. Men can lactate. If you thought only women could produce milk, think again. Just like women, men have mammary glands too. Although it is possible for men to make milk, they wouldn't actually be able to produce enough to feed a baby. This rare scenario is usually down to an interference with the hormone prolactin. This can be triggered by a tumor in the pituitary gland, opioids, extreme starvation, heart medication, or hormone treatments for prostate cancer. Men can get period pains. It may sound like an April Fool, but a quarter of men in a survey believed they experienced man periods. When asked if they frequently suffered from the side effects of premenstrual symptoms, 26% of male respondents answered yes. These included feeling more sensitive, tired, hungry, irritable, and even experiencing cramps. This is backed up by author of The Irritable Male Syndrome, Jed Diamond, who believes men have hormonal cycles like women. Men have hormone hits with parenthood too. When a woman is in labor, the cuddle chemical oxytocin is released to help with contractions and bonding, and research suggests this chemical also rises in new fathers. There's also a surge in the milk-producing hormone prolactin in dads. Ruth Feldman of Bar Ilan University in Israel views this increase in hormones as evolution's way of helping men turn into good parents. Men have estrogen. Estrogen might well be known as the female hormone and testosterone the male hormone, but both types are found in both women and men. Although it's at a lower level, men's bodies make estrogen too, and if they produce too much, they might experience unusual symptoms. These can include infertility, breast tissue growth, and erectile dysfunction. All men were on the path to being female once. All of us started out as a generic embryo. Although we have our male or female chromosomes from the outset, the distinction doesn't start until our sex hormones come into the picture, and that doesn't happen until a fair few weeks into our embryonic lives. Before the testosterone kicks in, baby boys are actually on the path to being female, and female parts of the body have already started to form by that point. Men have thicker skin. Men literally have thicker skin than women. In fact, a man's skin is about 25% thicker, and that's down to androgens like testosterone. Dr. Diana Howard from the International Dermal Institute explains that men and women's skin changes differently over time too. A man's skin thins gradually with age. In contrast, a woman's skin thickness remains constant until menopause, and then it starts to thin significantly. Men have bigger feet. Men are typically bigger than women anyway, but even when they're the same height, a man will usually have wider, longer feet than a woman. Billy Goldberg and Mark Lehner explain the differences between men and women's feet in their book, Why Do Men Fall Asleep After Sex? More questions you'd only ask a doctor after your third whiskey sour. Women tend to have smaller instep, shorter ankles, higher arches, and shallower first toes than men too. Men have thousands of whiskers. Have you ever tried to count the number of whiskers on a man's face? Don't bother. There could be anywhere from 5,000 to 25,000 stubs of hair on his cheeks and chin. His facial hair grows approximately 6 inches per year, and over his lifetime, he'll remove over 27 feet of hair through shaving. That takes more than 60 hours per year on average, which equates to around 5 months of his life spent shaving. That's an awful lot of time with a razor in hand. Male baldness isn't all down to his mother. It's typically believed that hair loss is passed down from a man's mother, and while the primary baldness gene is on the X chromosome from his mom, there are other factors too. Men whose fathers are bald are more likely to develop male pattern baldness, androgenic alopecia. It can start as early as 20, and by 50, half of all men are going bald. By 60, 2 out of 3 men are bald. The path to hairless typically takes 15 to 25 years and starts with a receding hairline. Men tend to use just one side of the brain. Research has shown that men tend to perform tasks on the left side of the brain. This is the rational, logical side. Women, in contrast, use both the left and right hemispheres. Although men have bigger brains, women's are 8% smaller, women have a larger corpus callosum. This means they can transfer data between the left and right quicker than men can. In men, the connections are usually stronger between the front and back regions of the brain. So that's why women are better at multitasking, and men are better at specific spatial thinking, like navigating. Which of these things about the male body surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to give us a big thumbs up.